Massive New York Jets coaching update as Tanner Engstrand is heavily in talks with Aaron Glenn to become the next offensive coordinator for the New York Jets, and we have to break it down here on Jets Digest. So what's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, only 20.2% of viewers are subscribed, so please hit the subscribe button. It helps out me a ton, helps out Chris a ton. But hopping right into our report here from Josina Anderson of The Athletic, she was told pass game coordinator Tanner Engstrand's name is already involved in substantive discussions for the pending offense coordinator role, per a league source. Wow, Sports Illustrated just has misspellings all over the place on that one. But we are here. We got the gist. Tanner Engstrand, offensive pass game coordinator for the Detroit Lions. The vaulted offense of the Detroit Lions features plenty of weapons, plenty of fun, and they are one of the high-scoring offenses in the NFL. This would be an extremely promising hire because the Detroit Lions are one of the best offenses in the league. Everyone knows the players on that team. Sam Laporta, who is not a special talent in the slightest, but goes crazy because that scheme is just so good it makes it work. Amon-Ra, who is a very talented player, but we got Garrett Wilson to play the same role. They have Jameson Williams, who we don't have a comparison for him, but we also could potentially have Devontae Adams returning, so he could, of course, be another guy who Tanner Engstrand could bring out the best of, even in the late goings of his career. This offense brought Jared Goff, who was, yes, he made a Super Bowl with the Rams, but he was looking, as far as first overall picks go, he was looking like a bust. And successful first overall picks don't get traded for other quarterbacks. So the Rams traded away Jared Goff, and then he has brought the Lions to the top of the league. Yes, they didn't make the NFC Championship game this year, but they are, when healthy, arguably the number one team in football. So that is an offense that every Jets fan should want a piece of. Tanner Engstrand, if he can bring something like that to the New York Jets, it would be absolutely game-changing for a franchise who has not had a top offense in, I can't even count how many years. It's just been way too long. In 2015, we had that year with Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker, which was a ton of fun to watch, but the ceiling could be so much higher with Tanner Engstrand. The defensive coordinator coming over from a franchise, taking the passing coordinator with them, is something we have seen in the past recently. We saw it just this NFL season, if you still want to call 2024 this NFL season. The Super Bowl isn't here, so I would count it. We just saw the Atlanta Falcons hire Raheem Morris from the Rams, and he brought with him the offensive pass game coordinator. So in Atlanta, we saw this year, Drake London had a breakout year that if you watched him closely, you knew he was capable of having, but their offense over the past couple of years has been completely stagnant, but they brought in guys from another offense that was extremely, extremely explosive, like the Rams, and it went really, really well. The New York Jets could have that exact same kind of offensive resurgence. The exact same pieces are in place. We would bring the defensive coordinator and then the pass game coordinator. If you have been subscribed to this channel for a while, the first time we heard rumors that Aaron Glenn was going to be in the mix for this head coaching job, I looked at the history and said, this is what happened with the Falcons. So if Aaron Glenn is indeed the coordinator, the most likely offensive coordinator, if Aaron Glenn was the head coach, the most likely offensive coordinator would be the Detroit Lions pass game coordinator. So this report that he is now heavily involved in talks with Aaron Glenn does not surprise me at all. History repeats itself in the NFL. That's why you need to make sure that you are paying attention to it. You have to make sure you're learning about it. You have to make sure you're remembering it so you can A, learn from the mistakes, and B, emulate what has gone really, really well. And you also need to be able to adapt to the changing cultures and ideas in the NFL. And Tanner Engstrand, that offense, has shown the ability to adjust to the NFL. They are among the league leaders in new ideas, and just them being top 3 in offensive points, they might even be number 1. I didn't check it before this video. They might be number 1. However, I don't need to sell the Detroit Lions offense to anyone. Everyone, when you watch a Lions game, they are one of the most exciting teams, and that would make the Jets one of the most exciting teams as well. I know he didn't call plays for the Detroit Lions, and he would, if he was the offensive coordinator, he would call plays for the New York Jets, but that's just a risk we're going to have to take. We are in a division with the Miami Dolphins, who have an extremely explosive offense, and the Buffalo Bills, who maybe not an explosive offense, but they have a really good quarterback with Josh Allen, and they're going to score a lot of points, which we are going to need to keep up with. So we need to take a risk, and taking someone who has been around really, really smart offensive minds is the correct risk for us to take, because he can emulate what he's seen around him and bring the same styles and schemes and ideologies to the New York Jets and put them on the field at MetLife Stadium. And that is extremely exciting to me. Also, right now, before this report came out about 2 hours ago, the favorite for the offensive coordinator position was Nick Caley. He's another guy I'm a huge fan of. If you don't know who he is, he's the current pass game coordinator for the LA Rams. He's also the tight ends coach for the LA Rams. But the more important part is that pass game coordinator. He's the same thing as Engstrand. Involved in a really, really strong offense. Doesn't call the plays, but he's a passing game coordinator. So what his job experience as a pass game coordinator does is it teaches him more about the schemes in the pass game, which matters more because the New York Jets, the league is based on the pass now. The run game, it used to be a ground and pound league, but those days are gone. Every single year, the pass is just more and more prevalent. It's all about quarterback play. The passing game is so much more important. We got to have a guy who knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to passing schemes, how to break down different coverages. If he sees cover 3, he's got to know where to go. He has to be able to teach a quarterback to identify the different types of coverages and identify where the holes in each coverage is. He's got to be able to tell man versus zone and how to do all that stuff. And being a pass game coordinator teaches him about, of course, he already knows like routes and stuff, but he's going to learn all of the high-level NFL concepts that are designed to beat those schemes that the defensive coordinators are dreaming up. Every single day, coordinators are coming up with new schemes, and we are going to have to find the next great offensive mind to break down these schemes. Yes, this guy he's never called plays before. He could come in and absolutely suck. But I'm going to keep saying it, I would rather strike out swinging for the fences than take a bunt and go to first base. We are not going to win the AFC East by playing it safe. You got to get the guy who can be the guy. Nick Caley or Tanner Engstrand could potentially be that guy. I am all in on either one of these guys because that connection to the coaches they are connected to, being Ben Johnson from the Lions, being Sean McVay from the Rams. When you got to take guys from very successful offensive coaching trees, that is how you find these next up-and-coming, bright, successful play callers in the NFL. The only way to guarantee that you will never find a play caller like this is by not taking the chance. If you don't take the chance, the chance of you finding the next great play caller is always zero. The Jets have to take the chance to go get a guy who can make the difference, and I am very excited for this. I would prefer Tanner Engstrand for the sole purpose because that would make me right. Just kidding, but I would prefer Engstrand because Nick Caley right now is below Mike LaFleur, who of course is a failed New York Jets coordinator, and that doesn't sit right with me. I still like taking the risk. I still like taking him from a successful offensive scheme, but that is just a red flag that I'm not sure that I'm ready to accept. I'm really hoping Tanner Engstrand gets this job. We should have some news dropping here either later today. Today is January 28th, recording this at 12:55. We will see if we're going to get the Engstrand/Caley decision today or tomorrow. But whenever that decision comes out, me and Chris will be out making a video about it. So if you guys stuck around this long, please hit the like button. Thank you for watching if you were here this long. Appreciate you guys a ton. And as always, go Jets.